Guys, minions, and welcome to unMadeGaming. We are here for the first episode of a brand new season of shows. This one is called Thrall. We are playing D&D. It is a homebrew world, and we're back with more corruption, more nonsense, and some familiar faces. Actually, everyone here has been on the channel before. So, if you guys like what we do here and you want to support the things on this channel, please go check us out on Patreon. If you want to join the conversation and chat with us, please go check us out on Discord. Links down below for both those things. And if you look in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, you will see the corruption bar. The corruption bar serves two purposes. One, when that bar fills, our wonderful GM gets to do what the hell he wants to us. And more importantly, every single dollar that goes into that bar goes back to these wonderful, beautiful, amazing faces you see here before you. That being said, Daryl, take us into the world of Thrall.
Thank you, Mike, and everyone who's joined us tonight. I am super excited to get to share Thrall with you. This was my first homebrew that I created when I was in high school. If you know me at all, you know about the Daubers. This actually predates the Daubers. I was a teenager, so it's full of angst and sort of silliness like that. But the world of Thrall is constantly in kind of a state of turmoil, as there are creatures who are called blood thralls. Blood thralls inhabit the world. They get their name because they live to torture. So they cause blood. They are bad guys, but they have won so far. There's just not enough light in the world to push them back. I'm not going to go into a lot of the details about that, but you should know that's kind of where we're starting. The city we're going to land in is Laclede. It's kind of a farming town that's growing a little bit because of some mining that's nearby. And these four characters, which I'm going to have introduce their character to you out of character real quick, are there in the inn called the Boar's Tusk. So if you guys can just go around real quick, tell us about your character, and then we will learn about the Boar's Tusk and get started.
Sure. Let's do right above me. We'll start with Cora. I'll go last.
Hi, my name's Cora. I'm going to be playing Luca Yggdrasil, a grotto elf. I don't know if I should give more information away than that, so that's what I'm going to stick with for now.
Perfect.
Okay, you can give a description if you want, but it'll all come out in the wash.
Okay. Worry about that later then.
John.
Cool. I am playing Samael, otherwise known to most other people as Sama. And they are a wood elf. I guess Scout Rogue. I'll go with name and class, and that'll be the closest we get for now. We'll meet him soon. Don't worry about it.
Kendall.
That's me. I am playing Gol Atmir, a gnome artificer, who just so happens to be obsessed with explosives and has a robot bird. Well, with a steel beast.
Steel row beast.
Steel, yeah.
And
Animated familiar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I am playing Rook, who is a Dragonborn, or in this world, a Skoreth.
Skoreth, yeah.
And I'm currently trying to figure out how to make a Russian Batman voice, so we'll see how that goes.
Nice. Awesome.
It's like Russian Superman, but slightly different.
Right. Less Boy Scouting.
Right. Yeah. Cool. So you guys are in the Boar's Tusk. The Boar's Tusk is a small, or not small, a reasonably sized inn and tavern. It's where everyone stays when they're coming into town. And I'm going to move you guys over to the other map so we can check that out. It's evening. The setting is fairly busy. At this point, you have met Henry, and you've met his wife, who are the proprietors, Margaret. Right now, Henry is busy running around the area, fulfilling orders, taking drinks to people, food to people. This restaurant has kind of everything you might want. It's got it's most famous for its pork, which it actually boar, but it's got the staples, your alcohols and everything like that. You guys are at a table. You've gathered here because you heard the man named Oliver Laclede, whose family is who the town is named after, is looking for help with the city guard, plus a few other rumors you've heard that brought you to the area. So you're waiting at a table. There's a meeting going on of the city council, and you can actually kind of hear them shouting from the other room. while that's going on, unless you're just going to listen, want me to diatribe a little bit more, what do you guys want to do?
Assuming that we have drinks at this time, I would like to take my drink and get up from the table and actually go over to the wall nearest where the meeting is being held, so that I can see if I can just kind of like nonchalantly lean up against the wall and listen and see what I can hear.
Okay. Sounds good. As you get to the wall, you hear a man's voice. It's kind of a higher pitched voice, but says, "You don't understand. The questioners were in my house. My children had to put up with that." And then another lady, or a lady, then replies, "Look, we're not here to discuss that. We're here to talk about getting more people to help with the watch to protect the lines of travel between the quarry and the mine. And we know that you don't like the presence of the blood priest here, but this is where we live. This is what it is, and we're okay with that because Landslide protects our trade routes." And then there's more, and they start talking over each other, so you kind of miss some of what's being said. I'll pause there. Anybody else going to do something? Want me to continue?
I'll say that after I hear this, I'm going to slowly start heading back to the table and just continuing to drink, just making it look like I was, just kind of getting up and stretching my legs and then heading back to the table.
Are there multiple patrons in this place?
Yeah, there's a handful. You can tell that Luca is not the only one kind of trying to hear what's going on in the other room. But for the most part, you've got a few dwarves who have recently finished their shift at the mine, some humans that are just from around town, whether they're farmers or live locally doing odd jobs, that kind of thing. And then there's Henry manning the bar.
So as Luca gets back to the table, Rook kind of leans forward and says, "What did you hear?"
Well, apparently it got a little bit heated to the point where I couldn't really understand exactly what they were trying to say. But initially, it seems as though one individual had people within his domestic quarters and was very upset about the fact that his family had to deal with that. And then the woman that he was speaking with somewhat disregarded his concerns and was talking about how something with lines of travel and needing to require more guards or something of that nature. It was very difficult to understand. There was a lot of commotion going on. Also an entire wall of space between me and them, but that is what I was able to make out.
The door bursts open and a man kind of stomps out, clearly frustrated. You recognize the voice as the one complaining about the questioner being in his home. He turns his head back into the room and he says, "Oliver, I expect to talk to you about this later. I'm leaving." And he leaves. He's a kind of a mousy man with a real thin mustache, but tall and skinny. Sorry, saw that message. Then you see a few other people start coming out at that time. The woman comes out and she's got graying hair that's kind of done up. Everyone is dressed pretty nicely, so try to separate yourself from the atypical fantasy setting. This is just slightly more modern. So some people might have a breast coat with buttons, or they might have an ascot, that kind of thing. But the lady comes out. She's even got a little hat and her curled hair, and she walks out and says back again into the room, and you recognize her voice as being the one talking about trade. Oliver, I think this addresses for today. I trust you to find the additional people we need, but I will assume that the other matter is settled. And she walks out.
Just looking over at her and seeing her, does she seem flustered or more nervous? Because she seems kind of erratic in her speech.
Yeah, she was flustered. You would say, based on what you saw or heard before the door was open, flustered. And now she almost seems like she's coming across like she's trying to be commanding, but maybe not quite there yet. You know what I mean? Like she thinks she's hot stuff, maybe, but she knows Oliver's really the one in charge. So. Okay. A few other people come out. One of them is a dark-skinned female dwarf. She walks out just fairly confidently. If you've been around town, you'd recognize her as the in charge of the Stonecutters Guild. And then the last person is a tall male with black, clean-cut hair and a nice dark gray suit. He comes out and stands at the door. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope we didn't disturb your dinners or anything. I want to assure you that everything is being taken care of. We are doing everything we can to assure that the city continues to function at a high level, and we can sort of put to rest some of the concerns that have been going on here of late. If you are here to discuss the potential employment with the city guard, I'd ask you to come on in now.
Now, Daryl, I have a question for you. While Rook is not the investigative type, and he's more the point me in a direction and I'll be a cannonball type, we do have Samael, who is a scout. So I would assume we collectively would know something about the town. Other than the fact that they were looking for assistance with, like, guards, do we know anything about this town?
Yeah, so... The whole thing right now is kind of weird with the town. They're looking for more people to be in the guard because they've lost some people, and they've had some people just leave. There's also like a lot of the trade and industry in the town is starting to suffer, and it's a little bit of a mystery at the moment. People have quit working at the mine. Farms are having trouble getting enough help to pick the fields or pick the crops and bring in the grains and things like that. Even the Boar's Tusk usually has a couple of employees going around, but the population just declining. People are leaving, even though if it was a money issue, that's not a problem because they are bringing in money through the mine. Particularly, people are pretty closed-lipped about why they're leaving, at least before session 1.
Makes sense.
Is it I think the man who just came out of the bar? I think it's pretty reasonable to assume that this is Oliver Laclede at this point.
Yes,
I mean, I assume we would have known that probably from the start.
Yeah, you would have known that. Mm-hmm.
Well, so Sama sort of turns back to the rest of the party and says, well, if they're losing people out in the mining routes, and that's where Landslide patrols, pretty good chance of encountering some of his forces around there.
My intention is to encounter all of his forces. Every single one of them.
Right. I'm saying that this is a good way to do it and also maybe get paid.
Well, if they're looking for help with guards and trades and things of that nature, are we intending to stay in the town for long enough for that to make a difference? I'm saying if they're trying to recruit people to stay and help with guards in trade routes, is it safe to assume that they want us to stay for an extended period of time, and are we comfortable with doing that?
I find that if you kill the thing that they have an issue with for good, they don't have an issue with it anymore.
Yes, I'm almost certain we've never signed a contract we couldn't immediately get out of.
And, well, let's be honest, it's pretty easy to protect one thing of trade for a little bit of coin than leave one caravan unguarded because you can't find anybody to do it.
That's fair. I just wanted to make sure that we are, all on the same page.
What?
It's,
So while you guys are talking among yourselves, I'm going to get a drink, and I'll meet you in the other room if you are still interested. And he's kind of addressing the room, hoping someone responds. So he goes to the bar, and Henry gives him a drink. It's something dark and in a clear glass, not a beer or something like that.
So this is the plan. Yes, we will take this job and kill everything.
Well, it seems at least we're on some page in the same book. And Sama sort of gets up and walks over to Oliver and says, if you're still planning on getting that drink and heading back in the other room, if you, I don't mean to be demanding, but if you want to give me and my friends around here, we'd be more than happy to come and talk to you about your little proposition.
Absolutely, Henry, get these folks anything they need, dinner, drinks, anything for the night. I trust, and he looks at Rook, that if none of you eat more than him, I won't go broke. And he grabs his drink and he heads on in. A boy who, early teenage, kind of runs up to the door and towards him, and he stops him and says, "Now, sorry, Gunny, you're not ready for this. You go talk to your mom. You keep working the farm, and when you're older, we can talk." And he pouts and runs off.
Go. This is second time I heard about pages and books. I did not get a book or pages.
It's nothing you really need to worry about. It's kind of like a metaphor or a saying or an entendre, and Gold's just going to prattle on with big words to try to distract Rook.
I don't have any interest in these words.
Exactly.
It just means that we are all in agreement with what we are intending to do.
Okay, I understand now. You can't fight with words. It's not
a
weapon.
What she said.
I disagree with that, but that's only because I've known people that have the ability to fight very well with words.
Have you ever seen a man be killed with words before?
Yes.
Really?
and Sama, on the way back, having, secured, at least a drink for everybody, just goes, "I killed a man with a book once," and just goes into the next room.
Luca is going to get up and follow Sama into the other room.
I would like the book and the page that we're all on so I can kill a man with it.
She's never killed anything. No, you can't kill somebody with words.
I'd like to find out.
You guys,
Rook follows as well.
Our word death would like to disagree with you.
Oh, I am fully aware.
I know, it's great. It's absolutely wonderful. All right.
The room is probably 20 by 20-ish. It's not too large. It's a very small desk, just big enough for 2 books. And Oliver sits behind it. Then there's small or, regular size, just chairs out around it.
Do the books look like they could kill a man?
No, they aren't. There aren't books on it. It's the size of enough for writing on a book. And I imagine there is a moment of you trying to figure out how to sit. Because it's just like a folding chair in this room. So anyway, thank you all for coming. I hope you guys can forgive the little performance earlier. We had, Marianne, she is just a trip. She doesn't seem to care anything about the city. She just wants to keep the trade route going. But there are others among us who have greater needs, families and whatnot. But but before we just begin, I have to ask you all a question, and that's, to be very blunt, can you be trusted? At that time, you feel almost like a warm, tingly sensation on your skin, and if you are going to do any attempts at deception, we need to roll some dice. Otherwise, you can answer freely, and we'll go on from there.
I'm sorry, can we be trusted for what?
I have to disclose some information to you, and you are strangers to me. So I need to know if you can be trusted to keep this confident.
Oh. Yes?
Not talk to others? Are you... I mean, I can tell you can break things. Are you a little slow? I mean, I didn't, no offense.
He understands. He understands.
Okay, I'm sorry. This is not the way I wanted to start this conversation. I'm very sorry.
Right now.
He's a little behind. He's in a different conversation currently.
I think that it is safe. I think that it is safe to say that we can be trusted. If for no other reason than we are new to your town, and therefore your concern of us talking to anyone, it's not really something that we are interested in doing anyway.
Right.
And you're
that all
paying
makes
us.
sense. Right, absolutely.
Also
Yes,
that.
and that's another thing. I am going to be paying you, and I am going to be paying you personally because I can't get the council to actually agree on how we're going to do this. So until I can prove to them that it's worth taking care of this situation, it's going to come out of my pocket. But the reason I ask is because I have heard that you have traveled around a little this area, and you take exception to our blood thrall oppressors. And he says oppressors like specifically, like, are you going to take this bait? Is this true?
Are you asking if we kill people?
Blood thralls.
Okay.
No, I have never killed a blood thrall. He's gonna say it like he's taking a lie detector test, as he so understood what he was saying. Like that's to the extent that he understood.
Yes. Well,
Rook looks around to the room to see if everyone else is also lying.
So I was like, well, I can definitely say that at least one of us has killed a blood thrall at some point.
You see, I and a few of the other council members and many of the citizens of Laclede are ready to try again, to try and free ourselves from Landslide's empire. But it's going to take time, but we need some supplies. We need some fighters, and we need, well, people that have no problem standing against, these vile creatures. So there it is. I laid it out there, and I suppose if you're going to go and you don't agree with this mentality, you just kill me. Whatever. I'm tired of it anyway.
Wait a minute. I'm sorry. I need to make sure that I am understanding this. Are you paying us to kill blood thralls?
I am paying you to start a revolution.
It's a simple yes or no question.
In which there will be killing of blood thralls, Rook.
Yes, I'm in. This is great for me. Sign on
Mr.
dotted line.
Mr. Laclede, to be completely honest with you, short of you assembling an army in the next week or two, I wouldn't have to leave this room and talk to anybody to kill you. I would just have to wait for a few days. Do you have a plan beyond just send 4 people with a bunch of gold out to get rid of the blood thralls in your area? Because Landslide is not going to take nicely to that.
No. I don't mean that you are the army. I mean that you are the first ones. We are currently trying to form an alliance with Bishonia. They're a little bit resistant because they don't take us seriously. See, it's been a few years, but we've tried this before. And if we can establish at least a little bit of strength, then I think we can convince them to send a whole regiment down. And perhaps over the next period of time, we can start trying to expand their wall to include us. I mean, or at least some sort of line of defense. I know it's, 60, 70 miles from here, but that's the closest we have. Are you raising your hand?
Yes. I was trying to be polite. You were talking too much.
Good.
That's very good, Rook.
Thank you.
Very good.
Last bit could have done it out, but you tried.
I could be a small army. You don't need everyone.
Yes, I imagine you could. I mean, and he kind of looks up at you. You can tell his eyes focus on your teeth for just a second with a bit of wonder.
Yes,
or at least impressiveness.
I will gladly stand behind Rook, who stands in front of the Thralls.
Well, I haven't even seen one of you. You're a gnome, right?
Don't make fun of him because he's small. That is my job.
No, not at all. There's small. We have lots of small. You have lots of bags and things. Are you carrying a lot?
Well, where am I going to put all of my stuff? I mean, that's...
Well, no, never mind.
What's
anyway, so yes, we have to start forming a plan, but it has to start with somebody that we can back up my simple words. Someone who, like yourselves, may have a reputation for killing and can set an example to the rest of the city that we have a chance. But no, we aren't going to just go to war with 4 people and a shopkeeper.
So that's what you would like us to do. You would like us to...
For now, it would be just be part of the city guard. Right. I mean, that would be your actions for now, your responsibilities, until we can make contact with Bishonia.
What if, speaking hypothetically here, what if we joined the city guard and then we hunted and killed the blood thralls?
Yes, that's good. Yeah, I mean, maybe it's a matter of
because
doing things without being obvious about it at first, right? Maybe we can get rid of that sulkery character. She's terrible. But if we just did it as a city, then Landslide would just retaliate, right? But an accident here or there, she runs into a wild boar or something. I don't know.
So we're talking about taking out a few individuals at first, just to be able to prove to other neighboring towns and villages and things like that we're competent. And then once we have them in an alliance is when you strike with a bigger force. Am I understanding correctly?
Absolutely. I like the way you think. You have a head on your shoulders, young lady.
That's usually where they go, yes.
Okay, then. All right. So, while we continue to establish more specifics, I want you to know I can pay you 5 gold a week each. And all your room and board will be provided here by Henry at the Boar's Tusk. Plus, if you need some additional equipment or supplies, we don't have a lot. I mean, we have a nice store and things like that. But
could you tell me how many blood thralls are in the area and about how many you need killed per day?
Per day? Well, I think if we kill too many per day, we will attract the wrong kind of attention.
Unless you kill all of them, and then which case?
No, Rook, that's what he's saying. We don't want to kill all at once because then it will attract unwanted attention from bigger forces outside.
So in this case, he would be paying us to kill less blood thralls.
Yeah, something more like instead of 1 a day, you do 1 every 2 to 3 days. So it looks like it's a natural thing as opposed to someone is what's the word? Intentionally killing.
Oh. He's paying us to be patient, Rook.
Oh.
Yes, little one. Patience is going to be required. At this time, we're just setting out some preliminaries. At that time, you hear someone shouting from outside. And you can faintly make out that they're hollering for Oliver. Oliver, come help! Bring help, quick, come! He rushes out the door. Do you guys follow?
Sounds like a ruckus.
It's a ruckus.
Just to be clear, we're going to just kill blood thralls, right? This patience thing.
Look, we're going to kill blood thralls, but we're going to kill them intentionally in a way that requires us to be a little bit slower than recently. But you're going to get paid this time.
Okay. I can slowly kill blood thralls, but not one a day. Is that what you're saying?
How about you take one and do a lot of horrible things to them over the course of 24 hours?
I can do that, actually. Yeah, that's
Okay,
not bad.
that works.
Torture works for everyone. You take one, you do what you want to do for 24 hours, and then you move on to the next one.
It's built-in example mutilation
Like
time.
the slow death, yes. Okay.
I'm gonna go upstairs if there's an upstairs to the boys.
Are you gonna go check out the ruckus? Anybody heading out that way?
I'm gonna go try to see if I can see out a window to see up the ruckus because I like being not next to people who are gonna be
nice. Yeah,
I'm gonna hang on the like with Sama like near the doorway, but on like the other side. So like I'm just pressed up against the doorway, just like waiting to see what's going on.
All right, so you guys.
I feel like Rook is like any big swole guy that could just come back from the gym who thinks he's too big to fit through the door, and he's trying to fit his wings and sizable frame through a human door as he maneuvers out into the bar to see what the ruckus is.
Yeah, Gold's just kind of like dipping and ducking and getting to the front.
Sounds good.
He's the smallest person there.
Yeah, you can
I assume
go right under people.
Yeah.
So Laclede runs through the door of the room you guys were in into the bar area, just as a young man kind of bursts through the door of the building from the outside. Oliver, Liam's here. He's hurt bad. You must come. We don't know what happened. He doesn't have the wagon or anything. And Oliver runs through the door, and I imagine about that time, Luca and Samael get upstairs. It's pretty, just across the bar, the stairwell goes up to the rooms. Hallway has a window at the end of it. And you see the town square. The town square has a statue of a little girl reaching up to the sky. You guys have seen this before. And you see a horse just, panting, completely exhausted, all lathered up. And a young man wearing, kind of basic armor, but he does appear to be some sort of a warrior type, has fallen off the horse. And you see Oliver running out, then kind of under where you guys are looking at, right? But before Oliver gets to him, you actually see a what looks like a beggar who's beaten him to that location. Now, before I describe any more, where is Goal and Rook? Are you guys just like stepping out into the wherever?
I think Rook is going to follow into the scene of chaos.
Okay, sounds good. I am going to drop a picture here. Just put it in the map layer so you can see this guy. So this old man is walking out or he's not walking out, he's already made it to the soldier. He's got bandages around his eyes, and as far as you could tell, he can't see anything. And he puts his hands on the soldier who's laying there, and you hear, if you're close enough, so Luca and Samael can't, he will not make it if something isn't done. And he puts his hands on the man. Just then Oliver gets there and he's like, get back, beggar. He's like, you don't understand. And he starts like kind of shaking over the guy. Those who are close enough, you can see wounds like closing on the soldier, and blood starts running out underneath the bandage of this beggar that's doing this.
Rook will nudge Goal at the sight of the blood. Rook is no stranger to people using magic and its effects, and so as soon as he sees the blood running out of this guy's face, he's going to nudge him, as this might be a potential blood thrall, somehow benevolent.
Okay.
Yeah, when he nudges Goal, he's like, yeah, his disposition is going to get serious, and he's too old.
I've killed older.
Yeah. So this goes on for a moment, and the soldier wakes up. He kind of looks around just as the old man actually collapses. Liam, who was the soldier, looks up. Where am I? How did I get back? I think Bucky, and he like passed the horse's leg. You knew where home was, didn't you? And who's this man here? Oliver kind of explains, and a townsperson tries to help the old man up and kind of leads him back to the boardwalk in front of the boar's tusk, while Oliver puts his arm around Liam and also brings him, but he's bringing him inside the boar's tusk. Throughout this moment, there's still a weird tension. Like Oliver's like, that beggar guy can get away. I know you saved him, but now you make me very uncomfortable.
You said there's people going to rush to help the beggar?
Yeah, one of the village people that was out here, a young woman, does help him up after he collapses there doing the healing, and she just brings him over to the boardwalk in front of the boar's tusk so he can at least sit down and not be in the dirt.
Yeah, Goal's
which is fairly near you guys.
Yeah, he's gonna walk closer to the man and kind of tell Rook, we need to get some answers.
Luca is going to leave the post from upstairs and start to head downstairs, wanting to also talk to the gentleman that is down on the boardwalk, the beggar man.
Sama's sort of keeping an eye on the road, which the direction it looks like this person came from, to make sure nobody's coming after him.
Okay. All right. As far as for general information purposes, the road is the one that is coming in that follows the path that goes to the quarry. So it's the lesser used road. It's not like the main ones that connect the cities, but that's the direction they came from. Yeah. So as you guys, you're coming down the stairs, Oliver brings the young soldier in with him, and if depending on where he passes you, Oliver's like, okay, come with me. We need you guys to help discuss this. Come, we need to talk about this. So do you guys go with Oliver, or do you continue on your course that you were planning to do? And I would be willing to say that Goal actually is kind of already past that point of being collected by Oliver.
Yeah, we need to figure out if this dude's a blood thrall. Like, I feel like I've been with Rook long enough to know that he's not going to let this go. Yeah. So, like, we might as well interrogate this guy and figure out what's going to happen, and give him the good cop, bad cop routine.
I'm definitely going to go, one, because I want to keep an eye on those two, and two, because Luca is definitely going to want to question him as far as if he is a blood thrall, how he is managing to control and keep things, how he's able to be kind with what he's able to do, I guess, is the best way to put it.
Sama's going to go talk to Sama's going to go talk to if the person who is riding in on the horse has recovered enough to be able to talk to you, Sama's going to go talk to them.
Okay. All right. So yeah, as Oliver soldier, he tries to collect you guys. So if Samuel goes with him, then that's easy enough. But he will look back at Rogue like, I need you in here. If you're working for me, come in here.
You haven't paid me anything yet, so I'm not working for anyone. I'll be
Mr.
right
Fine.
Mr. Laclede, it'll be easier with the people with their expertises the way they are to go do the tasks that are most suited to them. Trust me, you want Rook examining the blood thrall presence and not with the delicate conversation-y tactical bits.
Okay, all right. I suppose that makes sense. Does that mean you know that guy? Have you seen him around? The guy with the face?
No.
Bandages?
No, but the signs are pretty obvious if you know what you're looking for.
Okay, all right. Well, you guys go into the room. I'm going to cut scene to those who are out with the face bandaged guy. The young woman that carried him over sees Rook and runs away.
Great.
conveniently. And so Gol and Rook are there, and Luca joins a moment later.
I feel like as
and
Luca,
he's just basically exhausted.
I feel like as Luca is coming up, you just hear Rook say, "I need to know right now if you are a blood Thrall, and just so you are aware, if you say that it is yes, then I'm going to kill you here in the middle of the street."
I'm going to close my eyes while I do this character because it actually makes me feel better.
Okay.
I don't know. It's an interesting
No,
effect.
it's good.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
very method. Yes.
Please don't kill me. I'm not a blood thrall. I'm just a speaker. I lost my eyes, and I'm sorry. And he takes his robe and he's like trying to. Please don't.
Look, it is not good to threaten to kill people.
Well, but if it's a blood thrall, then I would kill him.
But you do realize that you saying that if he is a blood thrall and that you would kill him, if he says that he is, that would make him want to say no so that you don't kill him. You should not leave.
I will leave. I'm sorry. I don't know whose place I'm on. I'm sorry if I intruded. I will leave. Just point me in the right direction. I'm sorry. I just wanted to help.
Luca is going to reach out and just kind of put a hand on his shoulder and just kind of like move her head so that she's a little bit closer to his ear and just say like very calmly, "It's all right. You don't, there's no need to worry. We just want to talk to you if that's possible at all."
Well, perhaps, but there's a large presence, and he is terrifying.
That's just Rook.
So why don't you give me a persuasion roll just to get some dice moving?
Sweet.
If that's what you would roll to calm someone down, I suppose it would be.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I would think so. Oh, good.
15.
15, that's plenty. Plenty. Okay. You seem very nice. Do you live here? I'm somewhat lost.
No, I'm not actually from here, but you said that you are lost. Are you not from here as well?
No, I just travel. I just came through. Trying to get to the Darkthorn Wood, or at least that way.
Did you come all alone?
I am alone now.
So you weren't alone before?
No.
Where is the person or party that you came with?
I lost her. I don't know.
It seems like it would be very easy for you to lose them. You don't have any eyes.
Rook!
What?
You're not helping right now.
It's not like that. Please. I don't want to hurt anyone. I just thought I could help.
How many steps ago did you see her?
That is an excellent question, actually.
Or did you sense her?
It's been years.
What?
Okay.
2 years, I think.
Question did not result in the answer that I expected.
No.
Yeah, no. Go ahead.
Your voice is low. Are you laying down? Your voice comes from low.
Wow.
Okay. Maybe that big presence you sensed wasn't Rook. Maybe it was me.
Okay. I'm sorry again. I don't mean to be rude. I don't interact with people well.
Maybe I'm not a people. You ever thought about that? Huh?
You are both not helping at all. Sir, I apologize for my friends. We wanted to ask, how are you able to, you put your hand on the gentleman and you were able to heal his wounds, but then you started to bleed, it seemed. Can you explain if you're not, you said that you are a speaker.
Yes, you know, the magic and I don't know that much about it. I'm not exactly educated, but you speak to the energy and it flows, but it costs you. It hurts sometimes, and I can do this. I can close wounds, but it costs. It hurts me greatly at times.
Are you able to recover from it once you've taken some time to rest?
It takes a while. I won't be able to do this again for days.
All right. Well, then hopefully you will take the time to rest then.
I will have to stay for a while. I won't be up to traveling. The man, he seemed, I could feel light here with him, so I wanted to help.
And I'm sure that he appreciates your help greatly. He seemed in very bad shape, so I imagine that he wouldn't have fared very well if you hadn't interfered.
Yes, I hope. That is what I hope. All right, can we cut to Sama while you guys study the creepy guy? All right. All right, so Oliver has brought you and Liam into the little side room. And so, Liam, what happened? And where's everybody else? Where's the wagon? Where you can't come back without the wagon. And Liam's kind of like taken back, like, whoa. I mean, I'm practically dead here. But anyway, so Oliver, I'm sorry, but Landslide has put a barricade at the road where, the main road goes north and then over to Warion, but the road that would go on to Bishonia, he's put a barricade there. And I've heard that he's put barricades on all the roads that lead to Bishonia now. So we got there, we picked up the stuff, and on the way back, the barricade was there. It wasn't there when we left. So we had to go over towards the Lishone Mountains. We took the foresting trails, got attacked. Everybody's dead. I don't know what happened to the wagon. At least I'm here. I mean, can we go back and get the wagon? Do you have anybody else?
Attacked by who or what?
It was some of Landslide's mercs. They saw us coming when we were coming back from Bishonia, and I don't know. I mean, we didn't even have a chance to talk. They just launched into an attack. So we fled. I think they thought I was dead or they'd be here. So Laclede says, well, we have to get that wagon. You had the goods. Well, we had the one you're probably the most interested in. It was hidden, so even if they got the wagon, they may not know it was there. All right. Well, are you up to taking? If I have some men, were you up to taking them back to try to find the wagon? Liam's, I can do my best, but I'm not in good shape, and I don't even know who you have. Half the guard went with me, and now they're dead. The interchange goes on for a few minutes.
Someone just sort of lets them go for a little bit and just lets them bicker and takes all the information that he can out of whatever they might say afterward. But if they're just arguing over logistics at this point, just kind of goes, Mr. Laclede or Liam, you said your name was.
Liam's the soldier.
Could you just draw us a map, please?
Yeah, I think so. We just took the mining trail, or at least I took the mining trail back. I assume that's the way you're going to have to go. And once you get to the, not the mining trail, sorry, the quarry trail. Once you get to the quarry, you're just going to have to follow the foothills between the forest and the mountains north. And I'll show you where I think it is.
That'll work just nicely. I'd rather not have somebody who's only just recovered from such a violent event slowing us down or getting themselves hurt because they're not quite in perfect shape to keep fighting.
Okay. All right. So, well, what's important is the axles. Okay. The axles of the wagon aren't actually axles. We've constructed this wagon to have just gears that run the wheels, but then between them there's two metal tubes. And judging by your weaponry, you probably know what they're for.
Yeah, no, we've done that. We've done similar tricks before. I think I think I have an idea of what kind of cargo you were moving.
Yeah. It was, and this Oliver kind of takes over. We thought we could at least set up some significant defenses if we could have a cannon. They're just starting to build them in Lishone, I've heard, and we got an agreement to get a couple barrels. So we're just trying.
Allowed.
So anyway, so that's that. Back to the outside, unless you had anything else, John.
Nope, just waiting on a map.
Okay. He draws a map.
Rook kind of like taps Luca and like motions to like leave the guy alone. Like, let's have a private conversation.
Gull, will you stay here with him, please, and just keep an eye on him?
Yeah, I'll keep both of my eyes on him.
Good. Yes?
The man, he said that he is a speaker. They are like the blood thrall, but different. They don't eat fears. They just... And he like motions to like the wiped away blood streaks from the guy's face. It is a self-sacrifice or something. I don't know if they can be turned or not. But sometimes they just die. So, that is what I know about them.
Fair. I mean, it's good that we got a chance to talk to him, but he does seem a little worse for wear. And he did say that what he did meant that it would take a few days for him to feel back up to speed to be able to travel. So what you're saying makes sense. It's a very self-sacrificing sort of thing.
And
I've heard about it before, but I've not gotten a chance to really see it up close like that.
Right. The rumors of a speaker existing anywhere usually draws the thralls. They don't like them because they use also magics. So,
do you think it would be a good idea to try and see if we can get him set up somewhere where he wouldn't be found in town?
Yes,
until he can recover?
I mean, the three options are kill him, which is not the best option, hide him, or let him go, which will probably, and he like glances over his shoulder, mean that he dies 3 days. 4 days.
So again, we are on the same page of trying to keep him alive and safe and hidden until he's able to. Okay.
And no one should know about and he like puts his hands up. The magics.
So, all right. Yes, I understand what you're saying. Perfect. Okay. Yeah, okay.
Keep it
we
secret.
can make this work. Yes.
All right. So while you guys are talking off to the side, the old man, he kind of rolls over, so he's like got one elbow on the ground as if he's not in the plank position, but you know what I mean. Like his belly's down, like he's trying to push himself to stand up. He reaches behind his back and he's pulling out like a walking stick that he starts to unfold, and he's trying to get up. And Goal, you're there, but he doesn't see you.
Yeah, well, I hope not. He should sense me. Come on. No,
you're such a small.
Yeah. No. Goal's gonna tell him. Please, sir, please just lay down. Lay down. Stay. Don't hurt yourself, please.
I need to sleep. I don't think I should sleep here. I'm in the open, aren't I?
No.
I will go.
Wait. Is he in the open?
Yeah, we're
Well,
outside.
I mean, you're
Oh, I thought. Well, I thought we like took him into like an alley or something, but I guess that's
No,
also,
you're just
you can't
on
sleep in an alley.
yeah, that's where he was headed.
Yeah. Let us. You can. We'll take you to the inn. We'll take you to the inn. How about that? Does that sound good? Does that sound like something we can do?
No, I don't want to impose.
No imposition. No imposition. Is he still walking away?
No, he hasn't got up. He can't. He's trying,
Okay.
but he's just.
Is he still trying to get up?
Yeah, kinda. Not as much.
Goal's gonna realize that. You know what? Just try not to go anywhere real quick, and he's gonna run back over to Rook and Luca and say, "Hey, I hate to break up this Soviet reunion, but we got a couple problems back here.
What is it?
Blood Cry Man's trying to leave."
Oh, and then
Oliver walks out the door at that time. Does Samael come with him?
Yeah, like if we've wrapped up inside, then yeah, he's gonna go back outside. He's like holding the map and whatnot.
Yeah. Oh, and he mentioned, first thing tomorrow morning, but you guys stay here tonight because it's kind of late. Anyway. That's side conversation. We'll assume happened. All right. So Oliver comes out, and you guys are all basically congregated around the front door of the Boar's Tusk. So what did you have you sorted this issue out? Who is this man, and why is he still in my way?
That's rude.
I don't mean say the same thing. Wow, rude. Anyway,
I mean, I appreciate what you've done. Liam is a strong young man, and I'm glad that he's not dead. But you are very disturbing.
Luca is going to go right up to Oliver. Oliver is his name?
Yeah.
Oliver is the gentleman that we were speaking to earlier about the stuff.
Yeah, your employer-ish to be.
Luca is going to go right up to him and basically be like, this man is a friend of ours. He is also a traveler. And instead of payment, at least for me, to help you with what you had asked for before, I would like you to give him room and board for a few days so that he can rest up and recover, and also to keep him secret for us.
Well, okay, all right, we can do that. So you're saying he kind of leans down, like not wanting the whole town to hear. He's valuable, is he? I don't mean monetarily. We have bigger issues, but he's okay. I understand. I'm very upset. It's been an upsetting day.
I understand completely. And I understand that this is very confusing and a lot to ask of you, but I would greatly appreciate it if you were able to keep him somewhere safe and not let anyone aside from the rest of us know that he's here.
All right.
Just so he has the chance to recover in peace.
All right. What about Henry and Margaret, the actual people who run the Boar's Tusk?
Probably them as well, but no other patrons or anyone else from the town, if it's possible.
All right. I'll talk to Margaret. I may have to have you, or I'll see if she wants you to help with linens and things for him, just to keep the other workers out of his room. But okay, yes, I did react strongly, sir. Do you have a name? I am Rodur, he says. And
is that Aldor or Maldor?
Rodur.
Wow, I was way off.
Yeah, well, I was mush mouthing it, so. Rodur. Okay.
Excuse me, elderly man. Rodur, whatever. What part of your body hurts?
It drains me everywhere. I feel very weak.
Okay, great.
And you can see he's even maybe pale.
Yes,
the light's not great.
very slow with your movements, and so I'm going to pick you up now. And if you struggle less, it hurts less. So just go limp like you sleep. And Rook is going to reach out his two big meaty claws and like start to pick up this person because he's far too slow for Rook, and start bringing him towards the inn.
Awesome. Okay.
And whether the man goes limp or not, Rook is bringing him to.
Yeah, no. He doesn't resist once he has bearings on where your arms are or whatever, because he can't see. So, all right, cool.
Probably filled in claws.
So Henry and Margaret.
And he starts clomping away.
Yeah, don't your tail dragging the steps as you go up the stairs. Henry and Margaret, make sure you guys have everything you need. Show you your rooms, food, all that kind of stuff. Is there anything you guys want to do or discuss before we do kind of a in scene for the night and jump to the next thing?
Well,
Luca.
Yeah, I suppose you haven't talked to the others, so
Yeah.
Yeah, and also because I think Sama's like, well, they were so that one guard back there was part of a retinue escorting a cart back from Lishone. It looks like Landslide's put up some barricades or some sort of roadblocks on the paths leading out, and that was they put that up in between the voyage in and the voyage coming back. So they took an old detour, got attacked by some of Landslide's mercenaries, and lost the cart. Though I think they said it was hidden before they lost it. But more importantly, I learned two really important things. One, we know where the cart is, and two, they came back with some technology from Lishone, some of the new stuff they've been working on, and if they're willing to give them that, it means they have a pretty decent chance of probably negotiating with some protection from Lishone if we do the job we were originally hired to. So I'm a little less concerned about that one.
What did they have from Bishonia?
It's called a cannon.
Okay.
You've heard of one of those?
No.
It's like my gun. It's like my gun, but like significantly bigger. Oh, and go. Let's see. You've heard of them.
Why are you making that face, Cole?
It's
You'll have to explain how that works. It's
big
your gun.
bada boom.
How do you?
Yeah. So, and someone's like, well, the things I shoot are about that big, and the things this thing shoots are about that big.
Oh.
But how do you? What is the mechanism? This is not important or relevant.
Right. Point is, they were smuggling them in on the wagon, and they hid them in a way that you wouldn't find it normally. But the last thing I think any of us want is Landslide getting his hands on one of those.
They're real.
Yeah, and there are two of them attached as fake axles to a cart in the middle of the woods. So, yeah, all right, cool.
Noises you're making.
He's excited.
I don't like that.
So,
I've never heard that before.
now.
Goal is simultaneously Vinny and Mole from Atlantis.
It's great. Yeah, it's somehow both, and it's fantastic. So someone sort of like rolls out the map, I guess, on the porch of the Boar's Head, I guess. It says, well, it's out. Liam thinks they left the cart somewhere around here and points to presumably where there's like an X or somewhere, a circle or something. And Mr. Laclede seems insistent that we wait till tomorrow morning, bright and early, to do it. And I say we move tonight because darkness means stealth, and I'm pretty sure most of us can see, and Rook can when he's so inclined. So,
Yes.
aren't you inside?
Oh, I assume we all go back together after
No,
for this conversation.
While you're doing this is happening because I'm assuming that all of us have gotten to the pattern of we'll figure out the plan and then tell you what it is.
Tell Rook later.
Yeah.
That's fair.
You say that, and Rook pops his head out of the window on the second floor. Yes, Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Right.
I can't see in the dark sometimes.
Did I hear nighttime? I'm fine with that.
Yeah. Well, that's
Yeah,
4 out of 4. That's 4. That's 1 out of. That's 2 out of 4. So I'm thinking nighttime might be our best option.
I think you're right. I think that the traveling and doing anything by night in matters of stealth is always helpful.
That's how I tend to treat it. Goal, is you okay with that?
Yes. I will probably bring Cassie though.
I mean, that seems reasonable.
Yeah. If we're going at night, yeah.
Yeah, just make it a little quieter than it normally is. I'd appreciate it.
Okay. So you guys, are you like in a common area upstairs? You down in the bar? Or did you all get in one of you guys' room to have a powwow? Like, where are you guys at?
Well, I think like literally the minute Rook went inside with the old man and Sama came out from the boar's head, he just like plopped it down on like the outside of the boar's head and just sort of talked quietly because it's like.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, so Rook's inside with the old man. Now I'm following your comment earlier. I mean, I was earlier, but I wasn't putting it all together. Okay,
gotcha.
Perfect. Okay, so
just try and save as much time as possible so we can hit night when we absolutely want to, as opposed to having to like move around.
So while you guys are talking, Oliver Laclede has gone back in, so he's not listening to your conversation either. So
cool. Less people talking, better.
Okay, so. Your guys are in charge?
Well, presuming that, like, I don't know if anyone has any prep to do, but if not, I think we're going to go.
Sounds like a good idea. Around what time is it right now? Like, how much longer is it fully nightfall already, or do we have to wait a little while, or?
Yeah, no, like the meeting that you guys were overhearing was after dinner, so like it's like 10 o'clock now, like evening.
Oh, perfect.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. I just want to make sure that we're not like, let's go now, and it's like 6 p.m.
Well, that's a solid dusk. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's full dark. It's late enough that, I mean, you wouldn't be based on your judgment. You won't get to where that spot is on the map probably till afternoon tomorrow, if you leave now. And all you need is Rook, I guess.
So we won't get there until afternoon tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it gives us time to leave town and set up around there, and kind of have an idea and be able to scout the place before we actually go in, rather than showing up at like leaving tomorrow where people can see us and then showing up at night.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. So do you go back in and get Rook? What, like, I still feel like there's a little vagueness about.
Yeah. So I think Sama sort of debates going back inside, and then just sort of looks around for like a rock and just sort of picks it up and sort of like takes a few steps back, listens for where like voices are coming from the window, and then just whoop.
All right. You hear tink.
Yep.
Rock.
Did you throw a rock at my window?
Yeah, we're leaving tonight. You ready?
Yep.
And Goal is in his room is where Cassie's at, so he's gonna and gonna come running, probably following Rook.
All right. As you come down the stairs, Rook.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I was gonna whistle, but I was like, you know what?
I love everyone else's different interpretation of what the TARDIS sound is. Thanks.
Depends on when you started and what time.
Yeah. So you come down the stairs, Rook, and Oliver is at the bar, and he taking a drink, and he looks back. Where are you going?
I don't know.
Where's your rest of your crew?
Outside. They said we're going tonight, and I said, okay. And now I'm going. It is tonight, right now.
You can't go out there at night.
Yes, I
That's
can.
too dangerous.
For what?
Well, if you get caught by mercs while you're out there, they'll just kill you. At least if you travel with a day.
Oh no, it is. I'm
Well,
sorry.
I mean, maybe
No,
not you.
Listen, when everyone, and he's trying his best to be as quiet as possible, when everyone in the room said at least one of us had killed them, it was me, and it was a lot of them. So I think I'll be fine.
Right. I'm just saying that you travel during the day. You look like you're traveling. You know, you have
No, I
the
travel.
reason to travel. You
travel.
You travel at night, and you're a
travel
thief.
What? No.
No,
I'm a
that's when
murderer.
thieves travel.
There's a difference.
I don't know if I understand.
Thieves steal people's belongings. I steal people's lives. It's different.
It is different. I understand. I guess I can't stop you.
No, literally.
I just don't think it's
you
wise.
cannot stop me.
I don't mean that way.
Oh.
Let me at least get you some supplies. I don't even know if
Do you have? I think
Hazlitt is open, huh?
called bullets. That's what Sam.
Well, I don't have bullets. I mean,
I don't think you could help me. I'm fine. And he like motions to the scythe that's strapped to him. I think,
Right.
I think little Luca, she just punches everything in the face.
Little Luke.
And then Goal, he just, I don't know half the time what he does.
Rook just calls Luca double L all the time.
Little Luca.
Has the bird gone outside while this conversation is happening, or is it just like standing there behind them while this is happening?
It would. Goal would probably eventually open the door because he could hear it going.
Like the reverse scuba suit.
So Sama at this point is confused as to how like the mechanical bird that Goal summoned after Rook started leaving has gotten out the door before Rook has, but is also not surprised since I think this is a pretty common occurrence.
Right.
And so
He got
like sticks his
distracted.
head back in and goes, "Yeah, what's the hold up? What's going on?"
He said he
Yeah,
does
so you
not
see
want
him
us
talking
leave.
to
And I was
Oliver
trying to
and-
explain to him that we're going to leave anyway. And then he said about supplies. And then I asked for bullets. And he doesn't have any bullets. So I don't know
Yeah,
what
no,
other
he wouldn't.
supplies we need.
And
you guys hear
Sama
some
just like looks at
horse-
Laclede with a face that just says, "I am very sorry for the presence of my companion who thinks the only supplies that exist in the world are bullets," and then says, "If you're actually going to get us some supplies, I can give you a list."
Yes, that would be, I guess, maybe if you insist on leaving tonight. I still don't think it's wise, but I can go over to Hazlitt's. I can see if he'll open up the shop and we'll get you some stuff.
Is there any particular reason we shouldn't leave at night other than the suspiciousness of our particular travel, which is, I assume, what you're alluding to?
Yes, I mean, it's dangerous out there, of course. I mean, I know you guys live dangerously, but it's just, I wouldn't go into the foothills. Nevertheless, that part of the wood at this time.
Luca is going to poke her head back into the building and just be like, "I'm fairly certain that was why you wanted to hire us, was it not?"
Yes, it was. I trust you as
And with
far
that,
as I
she's just
can.
going to shrug and slink back out the door.
It's like,
Right.
I think we are good.
Exactly what Luca's going to
beautiful.
So what I was also alluding to earlier was you heard some horse steps coming into town. If you look at the map, they are coming from the north, and you hear what is several of them, not like a giant number, but more enough that they're all muffled. You can't quite tell if it's like one or three or whatever. And you've heard them coming for a few minutes, but conversations kind of continued. And then they're coming from up here and they're about here now. By the time you realize it's something to take note of.
Did they, by any chance, come from a place marked number 7 on this map?
You wouldn't know where they came from.
Can I guess with my role of PC genre savvy?
Yes, roll it.
Okay, I have no idea what modifier that is.
Yeah, no, you can roll intuition. Is that a thing?
Insight?
Insight's a thing, yeah.
Insight. Yeah, I mean, if you're inciting the situation.
Well, if I'm basically, yeah. I'm trying to figure, like, well...
Perception, maybe?
Yeah, I was just saying, I don't feel like Sama would have stopped noticing that there were horses coming through. So I'd like to kind of get a read on the situation before they show up. Or as they show up, if that's cool.
Yeah, so if you can even kind of like come across the...
Absolute garbage. Continue.
All right.
I rolled a nat one. We're moving on.
Yeah, somebody's coming. He's probably just a late night merchant. But anyway, as they come around the corner, you see the two guys in red that I put up in the Discord. They're both walking. The horses are behind them. On 6 horses, on 5 horses, there are some soldiers, mercenaries from Landslide's group. One of those has Sulkery, the Blood Thrall everybody knows is the commander of Landslide's troops around here. The 6th horse is actually a Mungu, which is a hybrid dragon horse, big enough for dragonoids to ride. But it's being ridden by Maggot. So as he comes around the corner, as they come into the town square here, the one with the big tall collar and the red coat says, "Children, it has come to my attention." "Don't worry, I'll wait. Come out." And he's like really loud. It's like megaphone loud. You feel like you hear it in your ears, in your head, before you hear it in your ears, right? That you all think you're above the law. People are coming out. So Oliver's out, Henry and Margaret are out from the boar's tusk. The other buildings around the area, the people are starting to come out and gather a little bit. The whole scene is distracting enough. You didn't notice at first that Maggot, the big guy, has over his horse, or the Mungu, over the neck of it, a body of a person. He picks up the guy, and as the father says, above the law, he throws this guy down. You guys all immediately recognize him as the first guy who came out of the meeting saying, "They were in my house."
Sama, I will stay inside. And he like steps back.
Yeah, and Sama sort of like looks outside and sees this and goes, "Probably for the best."
Recognizable.
Yeah.
And he kind of takes a few steps back into the tavern and where he can see from the window. And he's in like an awkward crouch to see through the window.
So he keeps talking. If this man had just done what is expected of him in the first place, none of this would be necessary. And he actually goes over to the guy and grabs his arm and like kind of pulls him up by his arm. You can see it's broken. Like he's lifting him by a broken arm. It's just pulled all out of socket and limp, and he's kind of moaning. His children were politely asked a few questions earlier today, and he had the audacity to hide one from us. So I will give you the reward of your pathetic life. If anyone knows of the boy, Johnny, he has red hair, he's dirty, like they all are, and brings him to me. If he does not show up, I will find him the hard way. Does anybody say anything or do anything? The townsfolk.
Gold gets a little bit worried that he might be mistaken for a child, so he tries to kind of find something to get behind. Because if Rook's back inside, Rook is his wall. He's not gonna, if Rook's not around, he's not gonna fight if you don't have to.
Yeah.
Luke is still outside with you, I think. She just poked her head in and then came back out. So, but I understand what you mean. Like,
Yeah,
he's a bigger wall of defense.
The 7-foot-tall gargoyle thing is what keeps Gold safe at night.
Yeah, seems reasonable.
Welcome.
Oh, he's Goliath. Yay.
Yeah, like Lucas sleeps with their weapon, Sama sleeps with their gun, Gold sleeps with Rook. It's perfectly fine.
He's like tiny, pointy teddy bear.
Right. So the people that are there, they're all, pleading, please, 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 we don't know where he's at. We don't know where he's at. Please don't hurt us, whatever. And the one they call Father walks over to the statue that's of the girl reaching up to the sky. He says, Landslide thought I was a fool for coming to this town expecting to reap any kind of a crop. And while I am not technically under his authority, he does support me here. And I am no longer interested in this. And he shoved the statue over, and it falls and the arm breaks off. You answer to me now. And if I find that anyone else avoids my requests, my desires, what we are here to do, you will suffer greatly. And everyone can kind of feel like the fear being sucked out of them. If you could tangibly understand that your fear is creating energy, right? So the crowd is a little bit, they're starting to freak out, and it's like feeds itself, snowballs a little bit, and people are starting to almost panic. Is calm, and everyone does like that. Poof. I expect you to bring the boy to my house, to the temple by this time tomorrow. And he starts to leave, and everybody just falls in line behind him and marches out. Back to you guys.
Are the townspeople doing anything, like, as they start to retreat from the town? Like, are they still kind of hanging out outside, meandering? Do they?
Well, when the guy says calm and they all react like automatons a little bit, they sort of stand there almost frozen for a minute. As they get further away, you see a little boy, not with red hair, just to make sure that didn't get implied, like come out from behind one of the buildings and like throw a tomato at one of the horses as it's leaving, but kind of miss. And he's like,
well, that's not good. You'll recognize the two with them, right?
Yeah.
Mr. Laclede, and some sort of just calls out vaguely in the general area, assuming that Mr. Laclede is still sort of there.
Yeah. He approaches you slowly. He's actually got tears like running down his face. I have to go. Vornhold he's a friend. What do you need? He's like referring to the guy that's laying there with the broken arm.
When you hired us to do this job, you neglected to mention that both Sulgry and Maggot were hanging out on the outskirts of your town.
But she's not really assigned to this town. I didn't know that. God, I wish he'd tell me his names. I don't have to call him Father. That bastard. He must have recruited her or brought her in for something.
Yeah, that makes this a mite more difficult.
Does that change our plan now?
Well,
please, we just need time. This is about patience. This is... Please.
If you need time, time's what we're fighting, right? We've got until this time tomorrow to get for one of the townspeople to turn that kid over or not, in which case you face retribution in certain ways, means that we can't make our trip here out to the cart and back by the time that time is over.
I know. And he's holding back tears now. I mean, he's crying a little bit, like he's losing his ability to kind of keep composure. I think I know who Johnny is. His parents were they were workers at the mine, and they were victims of a falling of a collapse. And Vornhold, he takes in the kids. He has basically an orphanage in his house. He has dozens of kids. I mean, parents are lost in this area all the time due to people like the blood priests and just the dangers of working in a mine. And I don't know what to do. I don't know what to ask you guys to do. Why would he want Johnny? What is that all about?
Do we know what that's about?
No.
Huh.
Mentioned something about questioning. I'm not sure I know what that is.
Yeah, you would know what that is. So the questioners are basically they are trying to coax out powers. They're trying to put you in a stressful situation so that your either ability to speak or you become a blood thrall.
Well, so
you could guess that, right?
The assumption being that like they're questioning all the kids to try and add to their number is the assumption.
Yeah. Oliver goes over to the guy laying there sobbing in the ground. I think they took my wife, you hear, over the muffle of the din around. The kids are alone. Someone has to go back.
Where is the home where the children are?
Are you just asking one? Are you kind of calling out to them, or just musing to?
Yeah, just calling out to them to see if they'll give a general direction, maybe describe what the home looks like.
It's the estate on the west side of the river, north of the woodcutter, the mill. Sorry, not the woodcutter. I can ping it on the map. I mean, it's easy to find even if you're not there.
Gotcha. All right, and you said that they're all there by themselves.
Yeah, I think so. Unless my wife made it back. I don't know if she ran or if they took her. And so now Oliver's brought this guy up to you guys, and they're talking with you. He's trying. I have to get back. I'm so sorry, Oliver. I didn't mean for this to happen. Johnny ran off. He ran off when they came. I don't know why. I mean, we can guess, but he didn't tell me anything. He just left. He ran away, and I don't know where he's at.
Did you see the direction he ran off in?
Well, there was commotion. I mean, you've seen that guy, right? The one with the face hanging open?
Not exactly the prettiest sight, no.
They say that when he was put to the question, they tore his jaw off, and that's how he discovered he was a blood thrall. God.
Brooke, realizing that everyone's sort of gone back to their respective places and has heard the clop kind of end, he begins to slowly pull himself out of the tavern. Okay, so the plan is, I assume, that we go follow them and kill all of them. Is that...
No.
Why?
Oh, okay, so I guess I keep thinking I don't have a character here. No, not them.
Oh.
I mean, I know you're strong. You're okay.
Thank you.
We've discussed that. We've argued about it even, but they are not. You're not ready. Not for them.
Yeah,
Maybe one or two of them.
We're strong, but
Yeah, that is Landslide's regional commander.
I'm familiar.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. So it turns out maybe we don't do that till we're absolutely certain that we win that fight.
Right. Okay. So in the meantime, what do we do about the child and the killing?
We'll need to find the child and maybe see if we can have someone watch after the children that are currently unattended. Or have someone, do you have, and she kind of indicates to Oliver, do you have someone that can treat him for his arm so that he's able to return home to look after his children?
Yes. I'm sorry. I'm just shell shocked. Yeah, I think Elena would probably be able to help. She's at home, and he starts muttering about friends and houses and people and waking them up at this hour and whatnot.
Right.
Yeah, I think we can take care of it. I just needed you to remind me that this is not. I can't just freeze dear caught in torchlight.
Here's what we need from you. I need you to take this gentleman and have him taken care of by someone that can treat him so that his arm is repaired so he can return home to watch after his children. I need you to get any supplies that Sama indicates we need before we go anywhere. And the rest of us will have to figure out what we need to do next. But that is what we need from you for right now.
If we have like horses, can we make it to the cart and back before nighttime tomorrow?
Yes. I can get you horses. Okay. Cohen is in charge of the stockade. I don't know what he's got there at the moment.
How about you take care of the horses and getting this man fixed up, and I'll head to the stockade and convince them very nicely to open up at this hour.
Okay. All right. Yes. Here, and he like pulls off his ring and hands it to you. You take this. They'll acknowledge that. I mean, it's not. They don't work for me or anything, but hopefully this is enough to.
It'll hopefully give me enough leverage to get me in the door.
Yes. Okay. So he then goes into the boar's tusk, and Margaret comes out with him, and they gather up Vornholt, and they start trying to take care of him, and then they wander off a few buildings away to do things like you told them to. All right. So you go to the stockade, bang on the doors. Do you want to role play this, or do you want to kind of? I can just describe.
I mean, it is 9:43, so whatever you think is reasonable, we can just do that.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, so you are able to get in. You bang on the door. Somebody wakes up, and this Cohen guy, old man with scraggly hair and wearing a nightshirt, probably has diabetes. But you do convince him. He takes the ring and says, "You're gonna pay for these, right? And or else I'll have to take it out of Oliver's cut from the city council, right?
That is.
I don't want any messing around.
That is exactly what Mr. Laclede offered for you to do. He said these supplies were to be procured by him for us.
All right. Well, okay. All right. So he can get you some horses. They're decent. Nothing that Brooke's going to be able to ride, though.
Do you have a cart?
Well, I have my cart. I don't sell carts. I sell stock.
Sir, I'd like to, if possible, borrow your cart for the express purpose of making this entire town a little less dead on the account that you can't find Johnny.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, I suppose that's convincing enough. Just a minute, and he goes and opens up the gate and has you come into the paddock or whatever, and go into the barn. And there's this cart. It's got like hay. It's like literally just covered in feeding hay or straw, whichever it is. And he starts like breaking it off, or forking it off with a pitchfork. If you helped, we could get this quicker.
Yeah, I mean, that seems reasonable.
Okay.
So yeah, Sama will absolutely help out, because his goal is, if Rook can't ride the horse, Rook can probably ride the cart.
Okay. All right. So in that case, he gives you the 2 strongest horses he feels he can spare. Unless you're asking for one for Goal, I assume you're not.
I mean, I'm considering I think Goal can ride the beard. I am unconcerned with Goal.
All right. 2 horses and a simple wagon, 2 wheels and a deck, basically.
Yep.
You're good. So, sounds good. So you get back to town square, and I assume everybody's still waiting there.
Yep.
So what is the plan?
The plan is we ride real fast, pick up those, and Sam sort of leans out to look down the road to make sure everyone has successfully fucked off, and sort of comes back and says, cannons, and we make the inevitable bloodbath a little less one-sided.
Right. Okay. And someone else finds the child, and then we kill.
That's the idea.
Great.
Who are we going to have look for the... Are we going to have one of us look for the child while the others go and get the cannons? Or do we want to try and recruit someone from the town to look for the boy?
I feel like the entire town dies if they don't find the child, so I feel like the whole town would be very willing to find him.
Yeah, children don't really respect my authority as an adult.
He's a size thing, I think.
I mean, obviously.
So perhaps before we leave, speak with Oliver and see if we can express that we're going to go take care of that and return. And in the interim, while we are gone, that they should be using their time to try and find the child and keep him also secret.
Yeah, highly motivated child. It's a highly motivated game of hide and seek.
Yeah.
Yep.
I got it. Hold on. And Rook sticks his head in the tavern. What was the tavern owner's name? The man.
Henry and Margaret. Margaret left with Laclede.
Henry.
I'm gonna say Howard and Betty.
He reaches a hand. Henry, hello. I need you to
Yes,
deliver a message to the Oliver man. My friends and I are leaving for the night. We have errands to run. I need you to talk to Oliver and have the entire town find the Johnny. Because if you don't, the blood thralls will kill you all. So everyone needs to, all hands kind of thing. Understood?
Yes, we're going to try to find Johnny, of course. But
Great. Just want
you
to make
wouldn't
sure.
turn him over?
No.
Sorry, wrong voice.
Keep him safe. It's fine. I just want to make sure everyone's highly motivated to help find the child.
Right. Well, yes, of course we're motivated.
Great. Thank you for all your help.
And I'll tell Oliver.
Okay.
No one's going to sleep tonight, I don't think.
Great. The food you made was okay. Have a good night. And he he does his best, guys. And he slides back out. He goes, I think I got it handled. The entire town's gonna help all night.
You are now officially our PR person.
Wasn't Oliver coming back with the supplies though?
No, I went to go get them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he went to go
Okay, so
handle
when you got the
guy.
horses,
Yeah,
that's fine.
I think the only thing we were really waiting on was horses.
What's his job on this team? Public relations.
Right.
He's so personable, can't you tell?
Yeah.
The food you made was okay.
Okay, I think we're ready to go.
Yeah. And so I think that's let's go.
So you mount up, straighten your ties, and hit the road. The road, like I said, you're gonna wrap around the other side of the town square here and find yourself going east on what they just call it the quarry road. you're going to take off. So you're riding pretty fast. You do actually see two mercs just wandering around the outside of the town. Your timing is really just good dumb luck at the moment because they're too far away to just chase you down on foot. It's like they're walking around kind of the south side of the wall.
even if they were, my excuse is you told us to look for the boy, we're looking for the boy.
Right, yeah. So they kind of jog after you, but then they realize you guys are flying, you've got your horses running at full speed. So you travel. You get past, you go through a field, you go through a couple orchards, and then you get into the forest proper. It's still a fairly well-maintained road as you are heading towards the foothills of the Lishone Mountains where the quarry is. After a couple of hours, you guys are moving pretty fast and making some noise, right? I mean, the horses can't be quiet exactly.
Yeah.
So can I get some perception rolls? What can you hear over the cloppity clop?
My bird's like the Prius of the animal world. You don't hear.
It's like what?
So my bird's
He's
like
the Prius
of the animal world. You don't hear him until he's right up on top of you.
Roll 20 just freaking hates me. My passive perception is better than my actual perception.
Nice. So, anybody else? Do you want to roll goal or your Prius? Does he have perception?
Yeah. He does. But he cannot be surprised. Also, but I guess that doesn't really matter in this situation.
Just him. He can't be surprised.
Yeah.
The bird is way more alert than the rest of us.
Like it's. I don't have its sheet up, but it's called something specific. Like it's.
So this isn't about surprise. This is about hearing a specific noise over the other noises.
All right. Let me.
I mean, and I can give it to Rook. He's got a 15. So there you go. We'll go with you.
That's the bird.
All right. The bird has got it.
So how does the bird communicate with you then? What does it do?
The bird's gonna stop, and its singular eye is gonna boop, boop, and blink like red.
I expected the mouth to open, and it's a microphone, and just
that's what I was thinking too.
It's like a freaking speaker, just like.
Hey.
Oh no, the eye is like in Star Wars when Luke goes into Jabba's palace, and I think.
Oh yeah.
Like that's what the eye looks like, kind of like that, but it mostly stays like a very light white color, blue.
Yeah.
But
cool.
Stop and just kind of blinks and goes red for a second.
Okay, so you guys see this. It's looking out kind of into the deeper part of the forest, a dark area. The moon isn't penetrating the trees back there. And Rook, you smell smoke coming from that direction also. You can't see it. It's just you don't. But yeah, smells kind of like a campfire with a little bit of burnt flesh.
There's a fire in the woods with meat on it. It's over there, where the board is looking at.
Yes. Cassie seems to sense this as well.
What?
You guys slow the horses or anything?
Oh,
once the bird stops, we probably stop.
Yeah, she went and looked over and like stopped. So he's like, "Oh, what's wrong?"
It is fire.
As the horses get quiet, you hear crying of a child.
Oh
God, fucking! And someone just gets off the horse, pulls the hood up, and just stalks off in the direction of the burning.
Luca is pretty much immediately on Sama's tail as well. Just fully jumps off the fucking horse.
Just so we're clear, the child wouldn't be crying if he was on fire. He's safe. And Rook scrambles down from the cart and begins following.
It's just, Rook.
All right. So yeah, you go off into the woods. The first thing you notice is there's kind of a little lean-to built up against a nice sizable tree trunk. Just past that lean-to, you do see kind of just barely through the moonlight filtering through some of the leaves, some smoke rising up from the kind of another collection of trees just past that. The crying is closer to the smoke. Unless you guys say anything else, you guys keep moving, and you do see a young boy with bright red hair sitting on the ground, kind of with his hands open, just sobbing. And he's facing what looks like a merc who has been burnt to a crisp.
I told you.
How do you guys approach?
Are his eyes bleeding?
No.
No. It's a later stage.
That's not the only way, just to clarify.
I know.
Okay.
And Sama just kind of looks at everyone and goes, well, now we know why they're looking for him.
There's a 50%.
No, please, stay back. I don't want to hurt you. I don't.
Hey,
Don't.
hey, if you don't want to hurt us, you're not going to hurt us.
He surprised me, and I didn't.
No, hey, you're just defending yourself from a sudden attack, I assume. Am I right?
I need something to drink, please.
Yeah, and some kind of sort of very slowly does the very slow thing of raises a hand and very, very obviously goes for the water skin on his belt, picks it up and just sort of tosses it to the kid.
And he drinks it, and he even kind of pours it over his hands. That steam,
well, that's just a waste. But
Luca, there's an 85% chance that they have to kill the child.
Okay, well, maybe.
No, please. And
Rook,
you see
Rook,
steam rising up out of his
Rook,
hands.
could you go look after the horses
There's a
for
very
me,
slight
please?
chance he could be a speaker too.
And, I mean, honestly, that's fairly low for Rook.
Thank you.
That's okay. No, that's okay. Actually,
That's
okay. Yeah.
We will discuss that. We will discuss that later. Could you maybe stay with the horses for right now, because you are very big and he is very small by comparison, and you are, I think, scaring him, and he is already very frightened. Please.
I
Would you be able to do this?
I think if we gotta kill him, we can handle it. Yeah.
I don't want to go back. Please, you're not going to take me back. I don't know who you are, but you're all very strange looking.
Okay, so I'm gonna hazard a guess that your name is Johnny. Yeah.
Yes. How did you know that?
Well, some people were looking for you in town on account of you having run off.
I didn't. I had to.
No, hey,
they were.
Johnny, not judging. All right, just saying that on account of you having run off, there's been a bit of a kerfluffle.
Why do I matter? The guy with the hook was going.
And Sama, so at the question of why do I matter, Sama just kind of and points to the burnt body on the ground. Well, that's why you matter.
Yeah, but I didn't mean to.
Right, but you can do it. That's why you matter.
It's all right. We're here to help. We're not here to try and hurt you or anything like they would.
At the end of that very well-delivered statement, Rook, you hear in your head a voice. The fire speaker will herald my return. And that's where we're going to end it for tonight.
Well, fuck right off, Daryl.
Right.
I
thought it was.
I don't like any of that.
I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a prophecy, or it was going to be somebody trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty. I knew it was going to be one of those two things.
One of the two things. Oh, fuck. Okay.
All right. Well.
All right.
Okay.
Well, shit.
Well, shit.
Shit,
indeed.
shitty,
Okay.
Shit.
Okay. Well, that happened. I'm glad I didn't have to. Probably don't have to kill the kid. That's great. let's go around, do our introductions, and we'll get the hell out of here. That was a damn good first episode. This is some weird shit. I'm down for it. We'll start with our illustrious GM, Daryl. Who are you? Where can we find you on the internet, and what are you up to?
Hi, I am Daryl T. Jones. I am also known as Splattered Ink on the internet at all the socials. I am an illustrator and a game designer. I have a couple of published games out there, but mostly, actually, I spend most of my time doing D&D art and maps right now, and I love every minute of it. So if you guys know Nerdarchy, for example, I do all their stuff. And looking forward to just getting to do that, and really, really thankful for everybody who came out tonight to listen to this crazy show, and these cast members, because you're bringing it to life. It's going to be a lot of fun. So that's me.
Fantastic. We'll jump over to our returning cast members. We'll go with Cora. Who are you? Where can we find you on the internet, and what are you up to?
Hi, I'm Cora. You can find me on Twitter at GlamourBombLive, all capitalized, and with the European spelling with a U because I'm fancy like that. I'm doing the same thing that most other people who are currently dealing with COVID-19 and the virus outbreak in general, and just being at home and doing random shit on the internet and elsewhere. So right now, this is the main TTRPG related project that I am a part of. So if you're interested in seeing more of me doing stuff, you can find me here every Tuesday with this slot. And if there's any other things that I get involved in or more stuff to talk about related to TTRPG stuff and whatnot, you can find out about it on Twitter, because that's where I post about all this stuff all the time. So yeah, if you're here for gaming nonsense, you can follow me there, and that's what I do, and that's me, and I'm gonna stop.
Hell yeah. With that, we'll go right over to John. Who are you? Where can we find you on the internet, and what are you up to?
Hey, so what direction is anybody? Who knows? Hey, so I'm John. I'm on Twitter at Ryomasa, RY0MASA. I do a bunch of tabletop nonsense, including this game at 8 to 10 p.m. on Tuesdays. And I'm also on the cast of New Acadian Nights, which is an Urban Shadows game running on Scraticus Academy at 9:30 p.m. Eastern to like midnight, 1 o'clock-ish. We kind of wiggle. Other than that, I'm doing a bunch of upcoming design stuff, working on a project called Omens Rising, which is a cartomancy-based tabletop RPG that uses cartomancy to basically generate your character and generate all of the things about the world and your particular place in it. I'm also working on a project that is very near and dear to my heart. As Lightning Voker noticed, this character meandered in the general direction of Mal Reynolds from Firefly, which is my entire aesthetic. And to that end, I'm also working on a homebrew port of the Witcher tabletop RPG by Artalsarian Games, and fast forwarding about 200 years after the end of Wild Hunt and turning it into a weird Western. So if you're interested in that, I don't talk about it on Twitter much because I have executive dysfunction problems, and that means things get written at a pace that is utterly unfathomable to myself. But it does show up on Twitter sometimes, and it'll occasionally talk about it, design and stuff. I've got like a little thing that I'm releasing, just kind of give you an idea of what the layout for this kind of thing would look like. So
that's dope as hell. And last but not least, returning from a several-year hiatus, Kendall, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? What are you up to?
I mean, I was here last year.
Were you?
Anyway, I was on Atari Twilight.
That was 2 years ago, bro.
That was... Oh,
yeah.
Stop saying things old. Like that. Damn. I need some ginkgo biloba in my life. Yeah, anyway, I'm Kendall, KW Frags on Twitter and here. For the most part, I mean, I can't really follow up anything super cool. You can catch me playing Warzone, getting high before I go to bed and playing more Warzone. And that's pretty much what I'm up to.
You can find him at Shrominator on
Great pitch. Absolutely solid sell.
The Shrominator?
Sorry, I hit him up on Xbox One. That being said, this has been the premiere episode of Thrall. It got dark and interesting quick. I'm down for that. I'm excited to see where this goes.
It did. We had a lot happen.
So
we did have a lot.
The father and the brother Dane showing up with the army, that was the corruption bar thing. I didn't call it out. Sorry. That was supposed to happen like later.
Well, the corruption bar accelerated Magnificent Seven.
Yeah, let's just make everything happen in those, and then the next 10 episodes, I will be like, so yeah, you have tea with Margaret.
Well, that's the benefit of the corruption bar. It speeds things up and makes things worse for everyone. So cool. Yeah. I'm glad we got No Jaw Guy to show up in episode 1 with his disgusting mouth. That being said,
better see the art for that. It's
oh yeah. If you haven't seen the art for, I think all the characters mentioned, so all of our characters in the show, the guy with no face, the lieutenant that was here, and Maggot, they're all in our Discord. Links for that down below. Come check that out. Join the Thrall chat and discuss this. That being said, we're all out of here. We will see you guys next week for more Thrall. So from all of us to you, bye bye.